Hello, friends. Hello, friends. This is Today Noise on the aaronzero show. And what do we have in our headlines today? Well, another road accident in the city of Delhi. A young man returning home from work uh, found himself in a huge ditch, and unfortunately, he also lost his life. It happened in Janakpuri area, West Delhi, where apparently there was digging going on or had been gone by the Delhi Water Board. And again, there was a huge pit with no proper guardrails. And again, we have a terrible accident there. Only a few weeks earlier in Noida, a tech worker traveling in his car met the same fate when his car lunged into a huge open pit, which was more than 20 feet deep. So, this has brought to attention the kind of road accidents that are again happening in areas which are under construction. So apparently, the authorities have to get their game on and make sure that every construction project or excavation project should have adequate safeguards and warning signs, especially for people traveling in the day or night, so that they don't suddenly find themselves in a huge ditch 20 feet at the bottom. And then there's also a time gap before the police can come to the scene, and that unfortunately results in the loss of life. So the Delhi authorities have to get cracking. Prime Minister Modi speaking to students on the Pariksha Ke Charcha program told students to not think only about the exam results, but to think about the life skills and what they can apply from that degree or education to their life skills and creativity, etc. And he said not to think of only the exams. And as far as gaming, he said gaming is okay. As long as you can bring some skill to it and increase your creativity in it, then it's a thing to be proud of. So what he's emphasizing basically are on our young people to improve their skill level at whatever they do, and that is quite an admirable objective. Uh, and of course, he says that when he was meeting a world leader, the gentleman told him he's 75. He said, well, I have 25 years left more to do stuff. So his other message to young people was don't think about what has passed, think about the future. So we should always have a forward looking vision and not think about the past, what has happened. The past is gone. So you have to improve, look at the future, and try and improve your skill level to the best possible level that you can, which I think is quite admirable because all the countries that we've signed free trade deals with, for example, European Union, etc., are looking for people with a high skill level, and those of us who have a high skill level would fit in easily in their programs, jobs, etc. So that is the need of the hour for our young people to improve their skill level and constantly try improving that. What else do we have to say here? On the world front, world news front, Mr. Trump has again created a drama of sorts. Apparently, he released a video of President Obama and Mrs. Obama dressed as apes. And that was quite astonishing because that is the um, that is the sentence which the MAGA people would use. That is the narrative that MAGA people would use because they all think that whites are superior and the rest of people are apes and monkeys. So that plays into the MAGA narrative and the Ku Klux Klan narrative, if I might say so. And of course, he's getting what do you call pushback against that. And of course, as usual, he's making excuses. He says he didn't do it. It was the White House staffer, etc. But I'm quite certain it was done with his full knowledge because he is jealous of anybody who has a better record than him. And of course, President Obama in his time was a brilliant speaker, brilliant doer of stuff, and Mr. Trump is nowhere near him. That's what I can say. So he will have a lot of pushback, and it will affect the Republican votes in the midterm elections because I think a lot of black people who would probably vote Republican would be offended by that kind of a narrative. And what else do we have? U.S. accuses China of secret nuclear testing in 2020, and apparently the Chinese used some a device called a decoupling device, which would not show the nuclear tests had happened, would stop seismic activity there in that area, and the US is not agreeing to the renewal of the nuclear treaty between itself and Russia, as Mr. Putin has wanted. They want the Chinese also on board because the Chinese currently have about 600 nuclear warheads and are building more. And so that is where the game plan is. He wants to modernize nuclear weapons much more, while the Russians want to just keep it at the same level, which I think is okay, because if you have 4,000 warheads, what more do you need? I mean, and if each side has 4,000 warheads, that's enough to destroy the world many times over. And so that's where we're at. There were discussions in Abu Dhabi between the Russians and the Americans, and who knows what deal they have come up with. Uh, with Trump, of course, it's an uncertain path that you trod because what is good today may not be good tomorrow. He's changing his mind on a whim. That is where we stand. And of course, in other countries just now, in Nepal, they are supposed to be going for the elections. And the young people who caused the fall of the Nepalese government are very unhappy because the existing parties have only a few young people under the age of 40 as candidates who are running in the elections. Most of the party people are above 40 years of age in all the Nepalese parties, except for the RSS party there, which is fielding 66 candidates. And I believe quite a number of them are below 40 years of age. So that is one of the Gen Z's hang up there in Nepal. In Bangladesh, the people who brought about the change there are unhappy with Mr. Yunus, the interim head there. And I believe the government workers are on strike and they say they've got no rice to fill their stomachs, only words that are talking about development. So they are on strike, and there's some group called Incolab, which also wants some justice for the extremist leader who was killed. His name is Hadi. And so they want some justice for him. What else can we tell you? Mr. Elon Musk, who's the richest man at $668 billion, says he's unhappy. Well, what can I say? Give me the money. So he says money doesn't buy him happiness, apparently. So maybe he's looking to give it away. Who knows? But as far as I understand, most of his money has come from the American government, from the billions and billions of dollars that were given to SpaceX and to Tesla. So those were like outright loans, which will never be paid back. And that is where all his billionaireness comes from, according to me. And what do I know? And apparently, his recent thrust is more towards AI and robotics, and he wants to uh, cut down more models of Tesla because Tesla's not doing very well in the market. BYD, the Chinese company, has is leading the market share, and he wants to concentrate on robotics and AI, which of course are the wave of the future. And already a lot of people are scared that AI will lead to the destruction of many jobs as we know it. So who knows what the future lies. But I can tell you, AI can never duplicate a human creativity because that is in the human mind. uh, Whatever inputs it has, that comes from human beings. So that's where we stand, and that is what I feel about it. I may be wrong, I don't know. And the 68th Grammy Award show was held in Los Angeles, and there were a lot of anti ICE protests by the attendees there, the celebrities there. A lot of them had no ice pins on their clothing, including Bad Bunny, the Latino superstar who won some Grammy Awards, and the other people there. And of course, Bad Bunny made a very good speech there while accepting his award. He said, "We're not savages, we're not criminals, we're human beings, and most of all, we're Americans." That is what Bad Bunny said. But the speech I liked was by LA based pop artist Billie Eilish, who also won a Grammy for her song Wildflower. She said, "Nobody's illegal on stolen land," which gave me a laugh because the whole basis of America is immigration, right from start to finish. And the first people who came to USA were immigrants on a boat, and they weren't already dropping from the sky onto the land. They took over the land, and that is the story of America, which, of course, the MAGA crowd doesn't like that. And of course, she's getting backlash for that. But I think what her brother said was quite funny. He said it's a bunch of old white men who are all in the Eppenstein files, which, which is quite funny. And what can I say? The Eppenstein files are back in the news, and you find every day another name coming out. And apart from the names that were out already, like Clinton, like Prince Andrew, Mr. Bannon, uh, the British tycoon of Virgin Airways, uh, Deepak Chopra's name has come out there. And of course, now the first thing people say when they're found out in the Eppenstein files is that, we regret ever meeting Jeffrey and this and that. How much they regret, we don't know. But apparently, Deepak Chopra did send a message to Mr. Eppenstein that God is a construct and that the girls are cute. That's what he said. But I guess that was purely from a scientific perspective. And Mr. Elon Musk, the great, apparently sent a message saying, "Where is the wildest party at?" And that's what he wanted to know. And of course, now none of them have any connection with Mr. Eppenstein. They never knew him and all that stuff, which is hilarious. That's all I can say. And as someone was saying that they have released 3 million files with videos, etc., but there are actually supposed to be 9 million files more. And my own feeling, of course, is that a lot of the files implicate Mr. Trump, while Mr. Trump, of course, says he doesn't know Mr. Eppenstein very well, and everything is no longer there between them. But actual fact is that he was a good friend of Jeffrey Epstein for 15 to 20 years, many emails, and who knows how many services he availed of from Mr. Epstein. That only remains to be seen if the truth ever comes out. The other fascinating thing is Mr. Eppenstein was supposed to have committed suicide in prison, but the guy who was with him in prison, a mafia don, said it was impossible for him to have committed suicide. And so we have to leave it at that and await for further news of the Eppenstein files. Thank you for watching today's noise. Please do subscribe by the billions. You can also catch us on Aaron News on your phone. Thank you.